Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and here tonight we're supposed to fight CPS and stop taking our children. We have a guest tonight, and I wanted to have that person on there, but every time I try to invite them, nothing's showing up. I don't know if that's a new feature of the StreamYard application that I'm broadcasting on. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. You found me on Facebook, and I'm glad you did because I'm here to welcome you. Welcome you to fight the child protection system. That's what I call CPS, the child protection systems. They're found in every county and every state in the United States. Also, in every city around the world, they are found. And what it is, it's a government body that in the 1960s, early 60s, Congress mandated that social services shall create a government entity to protect our children from neglect or abuse. Now, the government entity has many different names. Some are called the Department of Children and Family Services. That's LA County, California. Some are called the Child Protection Services. That's Orange County, California. Or if you go to Arizona's Department of Children's Services. Or if you go to Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. So there's thousands of names because there's thousands of counties. So instead of trying to talk about all these different names, I just say Child Protection System. It's a government entity set up and mandated by Congress in the early 60s to protect our children from neglect and abuse. About that time, doctors were being trained and educated about child abuse. So the doctors are the professionals that work with children. So they're mandated by law to, if they see child abuse or neglect, they need to report it. They need to report it. Anybody that works with children needs to report it. The other person that does the reporting are the lay people. These are your parents, mother and father, sisters and brothers, cousins, aunts, your neighbors, your best friends, your acquaintances. Anybody that does not work with children professionally are called the lay people, and they too report cases. They're about 50% right, but another 50% wrong because they use CPS to foster alienation from the other parent, the spouse, or they don't like the neighbor's dog, or they don't like the yard growing on their yard, so they create a fake story that their children are being abused or neglected. I'm not saying every CPS is bad, but there's enough of the rogue ones out there. There's over 1,000 CPS agencies that are rogue. That means they found out money is better than helping families reunify, or to help out families in need or have the children returned. It's sad, but most of the people that come on my live stream are people that are having a hard time in life. Some of them may be low income. Some may have lost their homes to fires or floods or hurricanes or washouts. And the CPS agency loves to take advantage of those people. It's sad. It really is sad because a lot of those people can be helped by FEMA. They had a hurricane, a river come through, and the rivers washed their homes down the stream. That was on the East Coast. Or they had a roaring fire that went from one home to the next home and burned them to the ground. Now, what FEMA could do right now to help out these parents with children is helicopter in motorhomes and trailers and portable housing units that can be picked up by a helicopter, towed, and then put on a driveway. A driveway could be cleared of debris. Once it's cleaned and they make it, then they can put a temporary home there. and the family can move in there while they're rebuilding their home. They can hook up the electrical and the sewer and water to those mobile homes or trailers, so they'll be fully functional. It's cheaper to put people in a trailer, to buy a trailer or a mobile home, than to put them up at $300 a night at a hotel. It costs anywhere from, depending where you are, $200 to $300 a night to put them in there. And those trailers, yes, they're brand new, they're expensive. Some of them may be used, they could use. But I know that the people that make, these mobile homes or these trailers or these recreation vehicles would love to sell them. And FEMA could certainly save money if they bought them and they could put in there. Because a lot of the parents are struggling because CPS says, well, you don't have a home for your kids. We got to take your kids. It's not your fault. It's unfortunate. And that's the kind of people, like I too was attacked by CPS. I was retaliated. I was lied to, and I lost my home. I am not able to work because of CPS. And on top of that, I lost one of my children. They retaliated, and they were caught committing perjury, and that's why they retaliated, because they lied. And then they decided to get revenge by ordering our daughter, who's 12 at the time, to emancipate from the parents. That means divorce your mother and father and your brothers and sisters and your aunts and uncles and cousins and your in-laws. All of them were divorced. It was a sad thing I went through, really sad. So I'm here to share this with you. I'm glad that you're here tonight. And this is a live stream. I'm broadcasting this twice a day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. in the morning, and on the weekends, 8 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Then in the evening, I'm on Monday through Sunday at 7 p.m. The live streams are 1 hour, and I'm broadcasting this on YouTube using the StreamYard application. Now, I'm on the West Coast, so those are West Coast times. I'm in Surf City, USA in California, and 3 blocks from the beach. And I'm here to help you with what I did wrong fighting CPS and what would have worked better for me if I'd done it in the beginning. Some of you are at the beginning, some of you are at the 1/3 in, maybe halfway, maybe you're at towards the end, or some of you have been fighting off and given up. I feel for you. I know what you feel like. I know what you feel like. Let me what I want to do is go over some housekeeping about this live stream. Now, everybody that talks in here is free to text a message to me or a comment. Well, that's to be a guest. I'm sorry. Here it is. So besides taking notes and listening to what I have to say and things like that, you may want to text in a question or a comment about your CPS case. When you do so, please show me your first name, your city or county, the state, and country. The reason why I'm saying country, this is a worldwide live stream. There are 21 countries so far that have contacted me in this live stream, from Indonesia to Bangladesh to India to the Middle East to Saudi Arabia, Libya, and then to Africa, to Liberia, and then to Sudan, and then to Rwanda, and then down to Mozambique, and then several provinces in South Africa. Then up to Europe, England, Scotland, and Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Then over the pond to North America, I've heard from 4 provinces in Canada. I've heard from all 50 states, even several people from each state. I've also heard from the District of Columbia. Then south of the border, I've heard from Mexico. And then down in South America, I've heard from Grenada. That's on the east coast above Brazil. Then over the South Pacific, I've been had a text message from New Zealand. And then I've also heard from Australia, the land down under, 2 states in Australia. So that's over 1,000 people that have either texted or called in. Country code South Africa is 27. Country code England is 44. So they've all called, England and South Africa. So is Canada. So is Canada, even Mexico. So from that information, over 1,000 people, and from my experience, I tried to help you with your CPS case. It's an awful thing to be in there. It's a terrible position. Now, also, when you text me in that information, please text me about your CPS case. Try to be complete about it. Like, how did it happen in the beginning? Where are you now? So you could do a lot of things right there. Now, another way that you can interact in this podcast is be a guest on my live stream by emailing me a time and a day you want to be on. All you do is send an email to my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. I want to thank Grace for what she does. And she helps me with the show and works really hard at doing it. So pick my show either Saturday morning, Friday night, Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, and tell her that you'll be on, and she'll send you a link, and then she'll help you get on with that link. She'll also tell you what you can say and not say, and what you can do and not do. But, being a guest is great because I can take 9 of you at one time. We can all be talking. There's 10 of us, including me. Now, another way that you can participate in this live stream is by calling me at 626-698-0990. That is my direct line to my phone. It's my office number, and I use Vonage as the application on the internet. You don't have to have Vonage to recognize that. But I'll leave that phone number up there. The other number, the 888-888-6582, is my office number. That's Vincent Davis. And you can reach them by calling in. And make sure when you call in, you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. There you can find information about the live streams that Vincent does, I do, and other people do. Also, you can find out about books to purchase. And you can find out about what kind of packages he has to have Vincent represent you. And if you talk on my live stream or you talk on the phone, you're entitled to a 10-minute free private conference with Vincent Davis. That's absolutely free. What you do is that I'll ask you when you're on the show as a guest or calling in if you want Mr. Davis's help. And if you tell me yes, I then will tell you what you need to do to get on his live stream. Good evening, Colson Lewis. I think you may be new, Colson Lewis. But welcome. I have no idea where you're from, so if you can share me your city or county, and your state, or if you're from outside of the United States, your country, your province or your country, or your states if you're in Australia. Also, please tell me about your CPS case. Now, I know there's probably a lot of questions and concerns you guys may have. Just know that no question is a bad question. You can ask me anything about CPS, and I'll coach you and help you and guide you through there. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father, husband, and I've had 42 years of marriage experience, and I've helped raise 6 children, ages in the 40s down into their teens. I still have 3 young children and 3 older children. The 3 older children have families of their own, and they weren't part of my CPS case. But sadly, the CPS case drove my older children away. It's sad what CPS did to me and my wife. Our children were needlessly taken. They weren't in danger. Being in school does not constitute danger. Each of their bedrooms, they had a bathroom, and it was spotless and clean. But CPS is very demanding, and they use a lot of trick languages. They do not tell the truth. They lie. They're not transparent. And they will conduct revenge practice because they've found out that the money is a better thing of CPS. In my case in Orange County, the state was paying Orange County $20,000 per child per month. And that was for 3 years. That was a lot of money. And it certainly wasn't going to the child. It's going to their employees' pockets, incentives, and bonuses. The directors were making a lot of money off families. They want you not to succeed. They're going to make it difficult. And that tells you need to get an attorney. When you're involved in CPS, you better have an attorney. There's a lot of choices with attorneys. Excuse me a second. And that's one of my first rules I didn't follow. I should have hired an attorney right away. I waited a year, and I tried to do it by a court-appointed attorney, which was a waste of time. They are mandated to investigate, and they have some of the best attorneys. And when you are assigned a court-appointed attorney because you ask for one, you're going to get somebody that doesn't not know how to fight CPS. Their background is criminal law. This is not criminal law. This is juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Dependency is the main theme that CPS uses. And you have to incorporate juvenile law and family law because there's things in all 3 of them that you need to have an attorney trained in those areas. And a court-appointed attorney will have a caseload of 30 more clients, so they won't be able to take your client on. They only do a half job. Now, when I got my court-appointed attorney, I wanted to meet with them. They said they don't have time to meet. I said, well, can I see you at the court ahead of time? They showed up 5 minutes before they had to be in court. That isn't proper time to talk to an attorney about your case. If CPS is bad, the attorneys are going to be bad and they're going to work against you. So will the judge. Now, there's some other things that I want to say hello, Carlson Lewis. Can you tell me more about where you're from and what question you may have? I'd love to try to help you out. Now, if 15 minutes is not enough time for you to talk to Mr. Davis, there's another way that you can talk to him. He's given me a website that you can sign up for $60 for 30 minutes. That's $60 for 30 minutes. And you go to the website, https://candidly.com/apps, APPTS, VWD/Bob Pace. Now take you there and you use your credit card and you pay your $60 and then you set up your own time with them. It's a private consultation with Mr. Davis that you set up with him, and he'd gladly be able to talk to you. So there's now a second way that you can talk to him. Now, a third way is to call in and attend one of his live streams, and you can talk to him there with questions and answers. On Saturday at roughly 10:30, he has a live stream where he'll answer your questions. So make a list and hierarchy of them. So which is the most important to be answered first? Now, I want to tell you about a site that we want you to subscribe to. We're putting together this live stream at a cost, and it's getting more and more expensive as prices go up and so forth. So we're creating an email, and by joining this site at YouTube, you can get in there and join it. And then for $1.99, we'll have a newsletter. That newsletter will have valuable information. One, it will have topics that Bob Pace has talked about and Vincent Davis has. Now, this subscription is starting out slowly. And the name of the YouTube room is, the YouTube channel is CPS Defense Strategy Consultant Vince Davis. And it's $1.99 to join. Now, I really would appreciate your help and thank you so much for supporting this live stream. Now, there's some websites I'd like to tell you about. One is called the Stand.store /attorney VWD. Don't forget to put the HTTPS :/ in front of the stand store. It's running on the bottom of my screen. A ticket's going across the screen. And it's a great store. Not only does it have books for sale, it'll have consulting classes that you can attend. There's a list of things that help you on that stand.store. And again, you start off with HTTPS : // and then you put in the address. Now, besides the stand store, there's books you can get. One of the books I want to talk about is the Grandparents' Guide to Adopting Your Grandchildren. It's a step-to-step guide in California, but it can be used for other states. And it's only $9.99, and I have a sale price going right now. If you call in and at PACE, PACE 50, you can get a discount on the live screen. So that is a 50% off. So the book will be half of $9. There are other things there on the stand store that you can look at and study and so forth. You can look at that very, very well. Now, a second website is Vincent's own website about his office. It's vincentwdavis.com. And use HTTPS : / to get there. But now this is a website that you'll find all kinds of information about Vincent Davis. So those two websites that I've put up are something that you should look at and study. Now, those are three things that I've put up there. Now, hello, K. Diamond Rock. You've been on the show before. Should a parent send email to CPS if CPS sends certified mail? First of all, my rule number 3 is you don't talk to CPS. That'll get you in trouble. You don't answer the door. You do not talk to CPS because everything you say will be used against you. You can't fight them. I did that for a year. Emails and texts and meeting in person with the director of the Orange County CPS services, but it was useless. They did nothing and made my case get worse. So don't communicate with CPS. The way you do is through your attorney. You need to get an attorney, and you don't want to use a court-appointed attorney. You have to use an attorney. I quick sold my home. I lost $1 million by quick selling my home. And I used the sale of my home on a quick sale I gave to Mr. Davis to try to get my kids back. You have to keep pressing for the kids to be returned because they're going to try to put them in foster care and hold them for 18 years for a lot of money. Remember, it's $60,000 a month. Plus, there's an incentive law that was passed in 1974 by Bill Clinton that said that that they want you to try adoption and foster care more than um, the rehab of families being rebuilt or together. That hasn't worked out for them. Now we have about 30 minutes. We're 30 minutes into this live stream, and my phone number has been up, and anybody can call in. Now, Kid Diamond Rock, and I forgot where you're at, so if you could tell me along with Colson Lewis where you're at. But Kid Diamond Rock says, in the mail, she accused me, and I just wanted to say the allegations are false. You ask your attorney would tell you what to do. By you writing to them, you're now supporting them that they now know this person. They may not know you if you don't talk to them. So you do not want to answer anything. It won't work. It won't work. No, you do defend yourself. You get a real attorney. My rule number one is you need to fight him with a real attorney. If you're doing open heart surgery, you're going to use a doctor. You're not going to use yourself. You're not going to use a plumber or mechanic or a nurse to open up your chest cavity and work on your heart. They're bad. They're not transparent. So you can't trust CPS. You will defend yourself through attorney who lay the facts and prove your case. Like you get a doctor to check you out if they say there's something mentally wrong with you. Or your children. You get the children's pediatrician. Don't use the medical doctors from CPS. They're not medical doctors. They're going to use cheap ones and people that will side with them. So you got to be careful of that. You got to be careful of that. You're from Maryland. Okay. Well, Kid Diamond Rock in Maryland, you need to find an attorney. And I don't know what city or county you're from, but there's many good attorneys back there. My rule number one tells you how to look for an attorney. It's the way you display your search words. You start off with the city and the state. The city and the state. If you're out of the United States, you're a country, then put your country. Put your country. Then you look up that state and get the CPS agency for that area. That's who you're going to make contact with. Don't say too much because they'll use it against you. They'll use you against you. So you have to get a real attorney. If you don't, then you got to make your court-appointed attorney work for you. You need to instruct them that they're going to defend you to the best of their abilities. And if they don't defend you and they're negligent, you can sue them for negligence. You can sue them and tell them that if you don't perform, if you're negligent, I will sue you. Further, you'll contact the state bar where they got their license and put a complaint against them. You need to fill out the complaint with the city you're in. Now, I'm not saying not defending yourself. Getting an attorney is how you defend yourself. You should get a quote from 3 attorneys. One of them is already right in front of you. It's Vincent W. Davis. His number is 888-888-6582. Now, there's 2 questions you ask each attorney. Ask a lawyer. Question 1, are you a professional licensed attorney in the law of juveniles, family, and family laws, and that you have experience of getting back children. You need to ask them, have they got any children back? Now, Vincent Davis has. He's gotten back thousands of children for the cases he's been fighting. So I'm telling you, you need to have a fighter, and Vincent Davis is a fighter. But any of the other attorneys you call, you ask them the same questions. Also, you need to ask for references. It's very important that you have somebody that's worked with them that can say they're good or bad. Now, somehow you guys have stopped. I've heard nothing from Colson Lewis. And I did hear from Kay, who's from Maryland. Make sure we have nobody else that's left off there. I'm still waiting for the rooms, the other 7 rooms to come in. Now, it's very important that rule number 2 says you document everything. Now, Vincent Davis, his hourly fee is $500. His retainer for LA County is $5,000. So if you think you want to retain him, give him a call and check him out and do so. I know that's a lot of money, but it's going to take a lot of money to have him win your kids back. Hey, Taryn Harris, thank you for coming in. Taryn Harris is from California, up in the Oakland Bay area. And she had a very difficult case where the family members have turned against her and they're robbing her inheritance from her grandfather. But welcome, Terrace. She's called in and been on my show several times. I'm so glad to hear from you. I'm glad you come in. A lot of you come in here for support because it is a hard thing when you have these bad CPS systems that come in there. And it's so hard to fight. You're like Alice in Wonderland and you're fighting with people that don't even know what state they're in. Now, there are other topics we can talk about besides my rules. We can talk about topics like what is a 388? What is the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978? What were the laws of 1974? What happened in 1994 with the incentive law? There's so many topics I can talk about, and I'll help you there. And I'm here like a walking textbook. I can talk a lot about things. That's one thing is besides the documentation, you got to keep track of everything. And rule number 3 is you don't talk to the social workers or let them in. Too many social workers have died. Excuse me. Too many family members have been shot or killed by overzealous social workers from CPS. Ones that do everything about that. So I'm telling you, welcome, Chew Baby. Chew Baby is from Virginia. I'm glad to see you, Chew Baby. She's been on my show for a long time. So, with that being said, if you have a question for me, Chew Baby, you can do so. And so can anyone else here that comes in there. Now, I just had a knock at my door. I'm not answering it. I don't know who the person is. I told my family if they have special rings or knocks, I'll let them in. But this was a rapid knock. Hit, 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 hit. So it can wait till after the show. So that's my rule number 3. Do not talk to, not let them in. Now, there's only 3 ways they can get in. Either by a warrant or their kids are in danger. They can come in and talk to your kids in danger. If your children are involved of domestic danger, they can be taken in. They can't break in. That's where they're physically being abused. Or a court warrant. It's got to make sure the court warrant's filled out correctly. Now, if you happen to see them outside, what you can do is you can talk to them and you can just get their name and tell them that if this is a legal matter, your constitutional rights, your civil rights, you're entitled to an attorney through all proceedings. So you can tell them that you get back to them, give them your name and phone number, and that you call them and set up another meeting. Do not meet at your house. Do not meet at their office. Meet at a public place like McDonald's, Starbucks, or the library. They'll have to meet you there. If they come to your house, they're going to see things you don't want them to see. And you want your attorney present too. If they go to their office, they'll end up taking your children away. So you don't want to go to their office. I'm not trying to say you need to ignore them, but you need to understand they're going to kidnap and take you, your children. They're going to do so. And that's what I'm saying, Kay Diamond. It says if you try to talk to them, write them back, you're not going to win. You have to work through an attorney. Well, if you did homeschooling, that is not neglect or abuse. A lot of parents make the mistake of doing homeschooling is they don't make arrangements with the school district. If you're going to teach your child school, you have to set up a program, and you got to get approval of the school district that you're living in to approve your homeschooling. If you don't have approval, then you could have someone make false allegations. And so that is kind of a bad thing, Kate Diamond Rock. And I know you've not been through. I was not been through. I wish I knew my own laws, my 5 rules. 1, get an attorney. 2, documentation. 3 is don't talk to social workers or the police. Also, you got to be careful with medical trafficking. Now, social workers are working in the hospitals, like in urgent care, in the emergency room, and they're looking for families that have problems with their children, and they'll try to apprehend your child. They need to have a court warrant. You need to see that before you sign over and leave your children. So Be careful at urgent care or the emergency room. Now, if you're having a baby, make arrangements ahead of time who can come in your room. They're not supposed to come in your room or take your child. They'll do traffic by you just have your child and there's something they hear they don't understand. Suddenly they take your child from you at birth. That's wrong. That's wrong. Right now there's a case, NYP, Letitia, who's married, has a case up in Kern County. And the parents are being falsely accused of breaking 11 bones in the child's body. Problem is the child had rickets. It's a bone generating disease. And the birthing the child and the nurses that birthed the child ended up breaking the 11 bones, not the parents. And so she told me this morning show that she got that approved and that her kids be returned back in May. So I want to share that particular story. And she's been on my live stream for a long time. Many of you have, and you've called and talked things out. So, Chew Baby, what is it your question tonight? Are there more questions, Kay Diamond Rock? Or is there a question for you, Taryn Harris? Kay Diamond Rock's from Maryland. Taryn Harris is from Oakland, California. Chew Baby is from Richmond, Virginia. I don't know where Colson Lewis is from. Oh, you leaving, Turin? All right. Good evening and take care. I have about 13 minutes left of my live stream. We're talking about some of the rules that will help you. We talked about getting a real attorney trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. We talk about documents and making a notebook and separate the documents by using tab dividers. There's one important document called the incident time log. You create it on notebook paper. You start off, you only need 3 lines per incident. The first line would be the location, the phone number, and who you talk to. The second line is a summary of what the incident's about. The third line is the outcome of the incident. You may not know that right away. You have to come back to it later. Now, it helps me if you guys ask some questions because I know this material can be dry going over and over and over. Now, rule number 4 is to search the internet about CPS, but it's important that you have the hierarchy of words. You start off with the city, the state, and if it's a small city, you put another city right after with a comma, like Athens, Georgia. You put Athens, comma, Atlanta, Georgia. Then after the state, and if you're from another country, after the country, you put the letters CPS. It's recognized worldwide as a child protection And that's what I've named it, the child protection system. It's systems, but there's many different names. You know, you got to be careful about children being trafficked into into the child protection system. So in that rule number 4, you're searching. Spend at least 60, 80 hours. There's so much to learn on the internet. And it's only, that's an easy way to research it for your case. And lastly, rule number 5, make a folder and put all the important documents in there. Birth certificates, shot records, etc. Make a copy and put that in there. Now, the homeschool is not a bad thing. It's how you sign up and how you explain to the Department of Education in each county. It's going to be more prevalent now. The counties are taking over the Board of Education. It used to be the federal government, but they're backing away from that. So I hope it becomes a real positive. Now, I know it's been a long day. It's been a long day for me, and the subject sometimes is really difficult. But my rule number 5 is you make an envelope and put all your important documents, copies of birth certificates, marriage license, your kids' grade reports, the medical issues, the shot records, your marriage license, etc. And you make copies and put them in an envelope and keep it with the notebook. And then those copies you use to say something there. Now I have about 8 more minutes before my time will be up. My show is over typically at 8 o'clock, and now it is 8 o'clock, so it's over a little bit quicker than I thought. So I want to thank all of you. Your Kay Diamond Rock from Maryland, Chew Baby from Virginia, Taren Harris from Oakland, California. Who else? I think there's one. Colson Lewis. I have no idea where you're from. Thank you for coming in. All of you, thank you for coming in tonight. God bless you, and please don't give up fighting for your children. I'm on again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then again in the evening at 7. So catch me. I'm on all the time. So if you have an answer or a question about your case or about certain things you don't understand, I will help you. I care about you. It was a miserable experience for me. And what I'm trying to do is help you all with my 5 basic rules and how to work with CPS. You'll be hurt by them, but you got to be positive and still fight against them. So I want you, don't forget I'm here and come in for support, but also support yourself. Get yourself out of this mess. And one of the ways you can do is get yourself a real attorney. So this is Bob Pace thanking you all tonight. And God bless. And I'm signing off tonight. See you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.